Let me start by taking you into a moment that you might recognize. You finally decided to change. You get serious, you commit, and you tell yourself, this time is different. And for a while it is. You show up more, you're disciplined, you feel momentum, and then almost out of nowhere, you stall. Not because you quit, not because you stopped caring, not even because life exploded. You just hit something. An invisible resistance, a quiet hesitation, a sense of no matter how hard you push, you just can't seem to break through. And if you're honest, you don't even know why. That moment, that frustration and that ceiling that you can't quite name, it's not a motivation problem, it's a belief problem. And here's the truth most people never confront. You are not living beneath your potential. You are living at the exact level that your current belief system allows. Not your talent, not your opportunity, not your intentions, your belief system. You don't rise to your potential, you fall to your belief. That must mean that one of the most important questions in our lives is not, what am I capable of? Rather, what do I believe I'm allowed to become? Because whatever answer you accepted, that's the lid on your life. This is part 2 of the Unreasonable Faith series. Let's do it. One of the most dangerous things about a lid is you don't feel it until you grow. Everything feels fine while playing within familiar territory. But the moment you try to expand, new habits, bigger goals, deeper commitment, you hit resistance. And it feels personal. You start thinking, well, what's wrong with me? Why does this always happen? Why can't I sustain momentum? But what's really happening is that you've reached the edge of what you subconsciously believe is for someone like you. That's why growth often feels exciting and then exhausting. You're not lazy, you're not inconsistent. You're operating beyond your belief bandwidth. John Maxwell introduced the law of the lid. And the overall idea behind the law of the lid is your life will never rise above the level of your lid. And most people misunderstand that. They think it's about skill, education, experience. It's really not. In fact, your lid is not external, it is internal. It's the very story you tell yourself about what's possible, what's realistic, what's too much for you. And the thing is, you can hustle your way to the lid, but you'll never hustle your way through it. Effort doesn't break ceilings, belief does. So let's talk about one of the most common lid beliefs of all. It doesn't scream, it whispers, you don't have what it takes. It shows up as you saying you're just not confident. Other people are built differently. It's not really who you are. And the dangerous part is most people never challenge that belief because it's so familiar. But just because it's familiar doesn't mean it's the truth. Just because a thought has followed you for years doesn't mean it belongs to you. That belief wasn't discovered, it was installed. And the cost of it begins to show up everywhere. You over-prepare instead of execute. You stay silent when you should speak. You choose safe roles instead of meaningful roles. You wait to be chosen instead of deciding. And it's not because you can't, but because your belief system quietly disqualifies you. And the tragedy is that most people never fail big enough to realize that they were wrong about themselves. No one is born with limiting beliefs. You weren't born afraid of failure. You weren't born thinking small. You weren't born doubting your worth. Beliefs are learned. They are installed through environment, repetition, and interpretation. One way is family. What did you hear growing up? And not just what was said, by the way, but what was modeled. Don't get your hopes up. Be grateful for what you have. People like us don't do things like that. Money doesn't grow on trees, which, by the way, when you think about it, is the most ridiculous statement. Money literally grows on trees. Gold might not, but cash does. But those weren't suggestions. They were identity training. And whether they were meant to protect you or not, they shaped your ceiling. And the point is not to come against your family or to come against your parents. Because the truth is, when you think about it, for many people, your parents were doing the best that they could with their belief system that was installed in them. So ask yourself, who taught me what was realistic? Another way beliefs are installed is through the culture. Culture tries to teach us what's normal. And if excellence isn't around you, your mind will resist it even when you desire it. You don't rise above what feels familiar until your belief says it's allowed. A third way beliefs are installed is through failure. Failure itself doesn't shape belief. The meaning assigned to failure does. One setback can mean I need to adjust, or it can mean I'm not built for this. And most people choose the second without ever realizing that they had a choice. And here's a truth that will save you years. Environment is greater than motivation. You can feel inspired for an hour, but ultimately you will think like the room you live in. That's why people make promises that they can't keep. They're trying to override belief with willpower. But belief always wins. If your environment reinforces small thinking, you will constantly fight yourself. That's not a discipline issue, that is a belief reinforcement issue. Real growth doesn't start with hype, it starts with belief replacement. This is where everything shifts. Belief is not something you discover, it's actually something that we train. Just like fear was trained, just like doubt was trained, just like hesitation was trained into you. So if something is trained, that must mean that belief can be retrained intentionally. But the rule that many miss is you cannot delete a belief, you can only replace it. If you do not install a new belief, the old one will always be the default. That's why affirmations without evidence fail. That's why inspiration fades. Not because affirmations are bad, not because inspiration is bad, but because unreasonable faith requires reinforcement. New inputs, new language, new standards, new environments. Not someday, but today. Dr. Miles Monroe identified 4 belief-driven identities. Not personality types, but operating systems. The first one was Copouts. Copouts give away responsibility. They live externally focused, and the cost is a lifetime of powerlessness. Number 2 is Holdouts, and holdout is where most people live. Always preparing, always waiting, always almost ready. And the cost is an 11-day journey that takes 40 years. The cost is years are lost to hesitation. The third one Dr. Miles Monroe talked about is Dropouts. They tried, they failed, and they have internalized it. Failure didn't stop them, identity did. And the fourth is All-Outs. All-Outs decide before evidence. All-Outs move with confidence. They commit without guarantees. Not reckless, but resolved. And here's the question. Which one of these 4 has your belief system been training you to be? Are you a cop-out? Are you a holdout? Are you a dropout, or are you an all-out? Growth isn't necessarily about becoming someone new. It's about thinking like who you're becoming instead of who you've been. And right now, many are making decisions from an outdated identity. Old ceilings, old narratives, and old permissions. But remember, the truth is that you don't break the lid by force. You don't break the lid by hustle. You break it by upgrading who you believe that you're allowed to be. And until that happens, your life will keep snapping back to familiar limits, even when opportunity shows up. So let's end where change actually begins. Not with emotion, not with goals, but with a decision. Ask yourself honestly, am I living like a cop-out, a holdout, a dropout? Or am I finally ready to go all out? Because unreasonable faith isn't loud, it's resolved. It says, my belief determines my range. My thinking is no longer the lid. I will not live by inherited limits. And here's your action. I dare you to write down the belief that's been acting as your lid. Journal where it came from and decide what input must change this week. Because the lid breaks the moment you stop thinking like who you were and start thinking like who you're becoming. And in part 3, we're going to talk about what happens when belief finally turns into action. How unreasonable faith moves even when fear is still present. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and put in the comments, I am an all out. And always remember that growth is a journey, it's not a destination. I'm in it with you, and I'll see you on the next one.